Welcome, everyone. Yes.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear us at all.
Now I can. Hi, Devin. How are you?
How are you?
Oh, you know.
Wait a second here. Oh yeah, 5 more minutes. Gosh. Kevin, I'm. Welcome, everyone. Just admitting a couple more from the waiting room here. See all of you today. All right, looks like we'll go ahead and get going. So we're going to start off with introduction and roll call. I am Kat Odell, and I am the chair of the commission. And then Michael, Vice Chair Mike,
I'm here, present.
and you are virtual with us today. Is anyone else in the room with you?
No.
Thank you. Secretary Philip.
Aloha, I'm here by myself.
Thank you. Finance Director Shanda.
Aloha, I'm present alone in the room.
Thank you very much. Sandy.
I'm Sandy. No one's in here with me.
Thank you so much. Do we have Joe on? Hey, Joe. Rocco said he couldn't make it today. How about Rick? Do we have Rick? Not see Rick. Oh, here, he's coming in right now. That's a minute. Rick, are you hooked up to audio? Can you let us know that you're online and no one is in the room with you? Okay, we'll come back to Rick. I think he's probably picking up his audio there, it seems. Okay, and then do we have from our Department of Education, Beth, are you here today? And from UH, Camaron, said he had a meeting at the same time today. Then we're looking for David Rodriguez. No. Sydney Nakamura.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi. Okay.
Hi.
Are you alone in the room?
Yes, I'm alone. Thanks.
Thank you. Jonathan Kimura.
John Kimura here.
Thank you. And Thaddeus Pham. Not present. Okay, and then we actually will introduce support staff today. Support staff. Devin, are you present? Yes, I'm present. Devin, who is present. And then guests that we have in here today, if you'd like to, oh, I see Rick. First, let's go back to Rick. Rick, you want to tell us you're online and whether or not you're alone in the room?
Yes, I'm here and I'm alone. Aloha.
Aloha. And then I see Joe just joined us. Joe, are you online? Are you alone in the room?
Hello, I'm here. Yay, there we are.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm late. I was trying to get like 5-10 minutes to open up, and finally here we are.
No worries. And I see Beth just joined us, connecting to audio from the Department of Education. So Beth just joined us. Beth, you want to let us know you're here and alone in the room? Okay, we'll come back to Beth. Okay, let's call some guests here. I see Aaron Lau is here. And then we have Krishna is here.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, and Maria.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you, and Rashi.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon.
Beth, if you're connected to audio, can you just let us know you're there and you're alone in the room? She waved. I can't hear you, but you did wave.
I'm sorry. This is Beth Schimmelfennig, and I am here and alone in the room.
Thank you so much. And Tanya.
Hello, I am here, and I have Rasha Watson in the room with me.
Oh, thank you. Rasha Watson. And Aaron Morgan.
Hi, I'm here and I'm alone in the room.
Thank you. And then let's see, Marcy. You're on mute. I see you waving.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here and I'm alone in the room.
Wonderful. Oh, we have Scott Sutherland on today. Hello.
Hi, everyone. I am here and alone in the room.
Wonderful. And then I see Joe Wilson.
Greetings from North Shore, Oahu, everybody.
Thank you, Joe. And Sarah Simmons.
Aloha.
Hi, Sarah. If I missed anyone, would you please come off mute and introduce yourself? Okay, wonderful. We're going to start with receipt of written testimony, and all of that was in the board packet, which I know, Michael, you updated with the most recent. Did we have any other testimony come in that was not able to make its way into the board packet?
No, but I just wanted to point out the one piece of late testimony that we received that was added to the earlier one that was sent out to everybody. And it's in the link in the chat as well. From the student, the alumni of Maui Prep.
Right, I read that. That was a really good one. So you all should definitely make sure you read that. Thanks for doing that, Michael. Appreciate it. Okay. And then we'll move on to members' shares and concerns. So I'll start off today. Michael included in the board packet the beautiful Instagram post that we have, just recognizing and encouraging the rights of our LGBTQ community. And I see Thaddeus is just entering the room, so Thaddeus is here. Thad, welcome. And then Michael, do you want to have any, oh, the other thing I was going to share you all, just putting it out there. Last week I received from the Department of Education directly a wonderful little link to report anyone who is doing anything related to DEI in the K through 12 schools. So that sucks a lot. I'm just putting it out there. Michael.
There you go. You have everything that's been in my board pack that was in the board packet originally. The only thing I do want to draw everybody's attention to is the request from the trans advocates request. This is for individuals, not for action by this commission, but for everybody to reach out and submit your own testimony for those different things, the horrible things coming down from the feds when it comes to passports. Everybody has their opportunity to have their voices heard. So I encourage everybody to use this opportunity to, on each and one of those items, to go in and submit your own testimony hopefully in opposition to everything they're doing to target our trans Ohana members. So, but I know I said, oh, and then the other thing was right above it is, when anybody asks, what about marriage equality? You can refer to that document, refer to that that paragraph or whatnot. And when people ask, why aren't we focusing on marriage equality? Because marriage equality is not the house on fire right now. We're focused, at least me personally, I'm focusing on the house that's on fire. When people bring up marriage equality, that's a house down the street that might catch fire. But right now, the only way we can stop that and make sure that doesn't happen is if we put out the fires that are right in front of us now and protect our trans community. So, if people have been trying to suck some of the oxygen out of the room and bring up something that doesn't even have any problems here in the state of Hawaii, that we are all good. And I encourage everybody to squash that down and tell them to focus on the things that we need to worry about, and that's access to gender affirming care and making sure our trans ohana are taken care of here. So
Thank you, Michael. Philip, did you have anything you'd like to share?
First of all, I just want to ask Michael, where I'm looking at the packet, where is the sort of the entry about trans, like that you're asking us to testify? I'm not sure I'm seeing it, and I'd like to.
that was added to today's. It was added in the update to today's packet. So yeah, when I did the update, I added that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I printed this earlier. The only thing that I wanted to share was I am a crisis counselor for the Trevor Project. I'm a volunteer crisis counselor for the Trevor Project. And they today, too late for me to get it in, released what they call their 50 state report. And it goes state by state and talks about the state of affairs as it relates to LGBTQ plus youth, suicide ideation, and mental health support and all that kinds of things. I haven't had a chance to read it. It literally just showed up, but it is something that I will share that report on Hawaii specifically, but you can look at other states for comparison. But I will share that with everybody because I think it's a really reputable organization, and I think some of the statistics that I just glanced at very quickly were really, really interesting, and I think it'd be important for us to understand those. So I will be sending that along later. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Appreciate that. And then Shanda, do you have something you'd like to share or concern?
I do not. Thank you.
You. Sandy, how about you?
Most of my concerns are pretty much what everyone else is concerned about right now. This isn't the part that I talk about the event, correct?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's hard to hear you. I think it's kind of a
Can you hear me?
connection. Yes, yes.
Okay. I've got like two different devices here working for video and audio. Okay, so my concerns are pretty much what everyone else's concerns are. But this isn't the part where we're talking about the event, correct?
We talk about what? Sorry, I'm trying.
The community event.
We talk about that later in the agenda.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, that's what I thought. Wanted to make sure.
Sorry, Sandy. It's hard for me to hear from the owl and the fan too. Okay, let's see. Joe, do you have anything? Do you have anything to share? Any concerns?
No, I was just wanting to get that what he was just on before Sandy.
Philip.
Yeah, thank you. I was just looking forward to getting what he had for us about reading about that he had to share.
Joe. Rick, how about you?
Just the one thing, I think we mentioned it briefly, but the Legislative Reference Bureau has, if we go into the Legislative Reference Bureau website, it does show Article 23 under the Constitution has been, now doesn't list the Article 23, it just says the word repealed. So they aren't waiting for the publication of the hard copy formal book that comes out once a year. The website already listed Article 23 regarding marriage. and the state's ability to make it between one man and one woman has been repealed, and that's now listed in the LRB. So that's good news.
Greg? Anything from any of our ex-officios? Okay, then how about our finance report, Shanda?
Aloha, everyone. So in the board packet is, and as up to date as I could make it, accounting of where our money is. We are at about 10,700 of monies spent on travel. And then there's a little bit else. So then another 1,300-ish in other costs. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody who participated in this, but I believe the only money we have spent on Pride so far, actually, we haven't spent any money on Pride. We had allocated funding for Pride, but I don't believe we ended up spending any, with the exception of the H3RC sponsorship of the harm reduction conference. We added that on. So that leaves us about 8,000, a little less than 8,000 to spend before the end of the fiscal year. And I understand that nobody has been reimbursed for any of the travel, and I'm working with Kristen on that. And now that we have a secretary, it is my understanding that we're in the process, and maybe soon that will happen. And if anybody has questions regarding how to make this go smoothly in the future to ensure this goes better once the reimbursements start coming, let me know. I'm happy to work with you on that. And our new secretary also will really be the key point of contact.
Quick question, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Shanda, does that what's left, does that include the $2,000 that's it's being held back by BNF for all expenditures for all departments and all agencies?
I have no idea. I know nothing about that. Can you say again so I can look?
There was a 10% reduction automatically that was put forth by BNF, if I remember correctly, in our budget. So we actually technically only had 18,000 instead of our $20,000 budget. So that last figure you gave, does that include that $2,000 holdback, or should we subtract 2,000 from that to realize how much money we actually have?
We should subtract 2,000. I was unaware of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
I was also not aware. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Shannon, for trying to put that together, and we will definitely be following up with our wonderful new secretary to try and get everything in order and maybe develop a better system so that's a little bit easier for you. Do we have any public testimony? Okay, then we are going to go ahead and get to our guest speakers who so wonderfully have joined us today. And we're going to start with Shannon. Actually, why don't you go ahead and introduce, because Gender Journey Days is something that you arranged to have them here. So go ahead, please introduce your guest speaker.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not know they were coming first. They are not ready. So if we can hop to the next section, I will get them online now.
Sure. Krishna, might you be ready?
Chair Odell, happy to share a little bit if that's okay.
Please, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, so Chair Odell and Commissioners, thank you for having me here today. My name is Krishna Jaram. I am the City and County of Honolulu's inaugural, I guess the first LGBTQ plus liaison. I was named to this role in October of 2023 at this point. I am the current Deputy Managing Director for the City and County of Honolulu. So within the city's organizational structure, there's the mayor, there's a managing director, all of the departments report to the managing director, and I am that individual's deputy. And Mayor Blangiardi honored me by asking that I take on this role of LGBTQ liaison. The reason the mayor felt this was important is when he came into office now 4 years and 3 months ago, candidly speaking, we thought the city and county of Honolulu was probably in a good space in terms of its interactions with the LGBTQ community. And what we decided and realized was that it could do much better. And so that's part of the reason I am in this role. In this role, I did spend the first, I would say 6 months to 9 months candidly getting to know the community, getting to know the major organizations that are out there, introducing myself. And so I'm very appreciative, Chair Odell, of this opportunity to meet with the commission as well. In the year and now almost 6 months that I have been in this role, some of the significant things that I have been able to support the city in doing and support the community in is mayor and the city has been much more active and visible in supporting the community, whether it be having a much larger contingent in the Pride Parade than we ever had, or whether it's raising the Pride flag during Pride Month. We have also reached out to our partners in the community. And so, for example, H3RC has provided us with cultural sensitivity training in our Department of Customer Service, which is basically our Department of Motor Vehicles. So one of our very forward-facing departments. So they've provided cultural sensitivity training for them. They've provided cultural sensitivity training for our department. It's not a department, but it's a liquor commission. Additionally, we have had the opportunity to partner with, and I thought I saw Joe and maybe Dean on here, but we've had the opportunity to partner with the Lepua'ala project. And so 2 of the plaques that have been recently installed, one is the former site of the Glade nightclub in Chinatown. And then the other one is the Rainbow Shower Tree on Honolulu Civic Center grounds. We were able to partner with them on getting those installed and celebrating those. And I do believe a number of commissioners were at least at the second installation, which is the Rainbow Shower Tree. So thank you all for being there. Last month, we hosted a Rainbow Town Hall, a Legacy Foundation here at Honolulu's Honolulu Hale, the building next door, Mission Memorial. And I think the thing that the mayor is most, well, he's proud of all of these activities, but he's very proud of the fact that we also started our first employee resource group that the city has ever had. Employee resource groups have been around since the 70s in all kinds of different shapes and sizes. And this is the first one we've had, and it's a rainbow employee resource group. So we felt that we were able to take a big step in the right direction to create a space for our LGBTQ team members to have area, space, and time where they can get together and talk about issues that are important to them as employees, but also so they can give us advice on how we can do better by the community as well. So Chair Odell, I don't want to go on and on, so I just wanted to take a pause there and see if there's particular questions that you or the commissioners might have that I can answer. But my general role is to help the city do better, but also to be a point of contact for anybody in the community that wants to do something with the city or has questions about the city or anything at all to do with the city. They can always call me, they can call me, they can email me, they can schedule a meeting. I'm happy to do any of those things. Thank you, Chair.
Appreciate you being here very much, Krishna, and everything that you're doing. I can say firsthand, I appreciate your sensitivity training at the DMV 8 years ago when I produced my marriage license to my wife from another state. They pretty much accused it of not being real, a fake document. And then it took about 15 minutes of them going around to everyone back there before they would finally let it pass. So yes, I personally greatly appreciate that. What
Thank you,
questions
Chair.
do you all have?
I have a quick question. Hey, Krishna, how you doing? Good to see you. What kind of support would we see if we wanted to request a Honolulu City commission? Because we've had a lot of interest in this commission since we've only been around 8 months, 9 months now. But like we see with the Commission on the Status of Women, they have one in each one of the counties. So where should we start? If that's something that people want to do, where would they start with that process with the city?
Yeah, Vice Chair, thank you for the question and thank you for the engagement that you and I have had over the last year and 6 months. So any new commission that the city creates, it gets created via the city charter. So that's the avenue by which we create commissions. So it would either go on the city charter gets questions get put on the ballot every time there's a federal election. So the next time that would be possible would be 2026. I think two things. One, that gives us enough time to also see lessons learned from yourselves as to what worked for you all and what maybe the city could take into account when it sets up its own commission. So I think that's part of it. And the city charter commission is going to start up sometime, I think in April or May. And that's the avenue by which questions about the city that go on the ballot would flow through the city charter commission. So that would be the avenue for this to happen, Vice Chair.
Hi, Vice Chair. This is Deputy AG Erin Lau. Hi, Krishna. Nice to see you again. I just wanted to mention that for Commission on the Status of Women, their county commissions are actually created by statute, like state statute. So that's the other avenue that might be available.
Thank you, Erin. It's good to hear from you as well.
Other questions anyone might have? Krishna, might you want to put in the chat information about where people might contact you if they do have questions, since we do have a wonderful 30 people in our meeting today. They might have some follow-up questions for you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here. And I know you have another meeting you have to get to, but we certainly welcome you to attend any of our meetings, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you very much, Sharon. I'm putting my email and my phone number in the chat.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, and then Shanda, I believe your folks are here. Would you like to give them an introduction?
I would. Thank you. So a couple years ago, Stanford University School of Medicine began a partnership with local providers here in the state of Hawaii to improve our capacity for providing gender-affirming care for youth. And out of that partnership has been a lot of education, including the Gender Journeys Day. So I would like to introduce Brittany Hopkins and Reed Ching from Stanford to talk a little bit about Gender Journeys Day. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Shanda. Thank you for the invite today. I'm in a shared space, so sorry if it's a little bit loud. I just sent a request to share screen. Perfect. Thank you so much. Great. As Shanda said, Brittany Hopkins, she, her pronouns. I'm also here with Reed Ching, he, him pronouns. And we are coming to talk about Gender Journeys Day. So Gender Journeys Day is a conference for healthcare providers, educators, and families in Hawaii on gender-affirming care for keiki. This is us last year. We had our inaugural conference, and you'll see that our keynote speaker was Kumuhina. So we were all really excited that she was able to come. The overall aim is to educate participants and increase understanding of gender-affirming care for keiki, and also building a community, helping people meet each other and connect at the conference. Last year we had 17 sessions, 70 participants, and what I also think is equally important is we had 45 speakers, working group members, and volunteers, all from Hawaii who really care about this project and volunteer their time. just a little postcard. Save the date for Gender Journeys Day. I'll also put the website in the chat, and we have some flyers too that I can send to Shanda to distribute to you all. So it's just Reed and myself here today, but there are many more on the team. So you'll see Dr. Tendi A is our program director, also Dr. Chris Brady and Dr. Jane Long. And I will turn it over here to Reed.
Hi, so reaching, he, him pronouns. So just to put it Gender Journeys Day in context, so the team at Stanford has been working with local partners in Hawaii over the past 2 or 3 years. Because when we started this project, it was really important for us to understand where care was being provided. Our charge was to really understand what the challenges for accessing care look like. And to that end, we took a year really having conversations on the ground. As someone who's originally from Hawaii, it was really important for me that it be done in partnership with locals. But I also understand living on the mainland, it's really easy to forget that once you've left the islands. And so we spent a year talking with people, with families and providers, asking how care is being delivered. And ultimately, in the first 6 months, the same names kept coming up, like Shanda and others across the state. And so what we did is we put together a working group of people, primarily medical providers and behavioral health providers from across the state, people who wanted to help us address the challenges. And so this is what it looks like on the slide here. Really super proud of our work. And we co-created some sessions online to address what the challenges people were facing locally. But it's out of these discussions that we started to hear from, families and people who weren't providers about how they could get involved. And that was really the genesis of Gender Journeys Day, which was modeled on something in the Bay Area called Gender Spectrum, I understand. And so that's what we have, Gender Journeys, to complement the echo sessions that we have in Hawaii over the last 3 years. Oh, Brittany, were you going to cover this? Or...
Oh, yeah, I just couldn't get off mute for a second there. Thank you. So this year, we just wanted to give you all a little idea of some of the topics that we'll cover. We have some similar sessions to last year for folks who weren't able to attend, but we also have plenty of new sessions for people who did attend last year and want to come back again this year. So I'll just read through these pretty quickly. Advocating and affirming patients, medical and non-medical interventions, creating inclusive spaces, how Mānoa live experiences, advocacy in schools, coming out as a family, and a peer-to-peer educator panel. And as I had mentioned, one of the exciting things is that we do have a more advanced track this year for folks who attended last year, but also for people who are already providing care or already pretty familiar with it. So there's something there for everybody.
And people have asked us how you can help. I think really if you could get the word out and share the event, the flyer with people who might be interested, providers, families, keiki, it's really open to the community. We also have sponsorship available, but I think first and foremost, it's really spreading the word. We had a nice showing last year and we'd love to get as many people, if not more this year to come.
Great. And then someone had asked how to contact us. I put our Hawaii Gecko email in the chat. You can also reach us at genderjourneyshawaii.org. Those will go to the same place and we'll definitely get your email. And then this picture that we have here is actually an affirmation collage that was created by the keiki who attended the conference last year. If you can't see, some of the affirmations are love yourself, believe in yourself, you do you, boo, which is very cute. Very empowering experience for the keiki who attended.
Yeah, and just some ways you can support if you know someone who's interested. this is what your support can help with. Otherwise, if any questions, as Brittany mentioned, feel free to reach out to us, and we're happy to take any questions if you have any.
Might have questions. So we all need to discuss how we will be participating, because I know we are very interested in participating. I appreciate all of the visuals that you gave us so that we can look back at these and figure all of this out, but yeah, I guess my biggest question around all of this is, outside of volunteers, what do you need the most to make this a success?
Yeah, that's it. Oh,
Yeah, go ahead,
Reed.
Brittany.
Okay. Thanks for asking that question. It's great. One of the biggest things is just getting the word out, spreading the word to folks, particularly from neighbor islands as well. We do have some travel stipends available to make it more accessible for folks who will be flying to Oahu for the event. So yes, I'll definitely share those flyers. I put the website in the chat for you all to check out. Registration is open. We also have a Q&A section or FAQ section if people have some just general questions about logistics for the event.
I mean, and I wanted to add that, we've been doing this work for the last 3 years in Hawaii, but over, each year, each trip we take, we always hear of new people, because there's people coming into the islands, people leaving the islands. And because of, people coming in, people leaving, and even people that have been providing for a long time, we're always coming across new names. So the extent to which you can get the word out to wherever, your circle, your network is, I think it could make the event a huge success.
Thank you so much. And Alex, you have your hand up.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Alex. My pronouns are they, them. I was just wondering how to get volunteer information. I would love to volunteer if possible. I checked out the website and the FAQ, but I didn't see any info there. So just wanted to get you all while here on the call.
Yeah, thanks so much for asking and for being willing to volunteer. Best way right now is if you just shoot us an email. I'll be on the other end of that, and I can respond to you about some more logistics for volunteering this year.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Volunteering, Alex. Any other questions you all might have? Okay, then I just want to say thank you so very much for being here today, Reed and Brittany. Really appreciate it. And to Shanda for arranging this. Lovely to hear about this. And certainly we hope to see you on it's June 28th, right?
Yes, Saturday, June 28th.
Outstanding. All right, thank you very much. And please feel free to join our meetings anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right. That was wonderful. We're going to move on to our ongoing business and updates. So first is an exciting update on hiring our administrative assistant. And here today with us is Devin. So Devin, can they see you on the camera? Yes, they can. Oh, good. There you are. So wave to everyone there. Devin, who would you like to introduce yourself and let everybody know where you came from to this position?
Yes, well, my name is Devin and I will be your admin assistant. I am good family friends with the director of ZHS and he told me about this position and I applied and that's how I got here. So I'm happy to be here. If there's anything I can do to be of assistance, please reach out. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Devin. We are so thrilled to have you. I personally could not be happier because, yes, I am not very good at things like formatting and technology, and wonderful to have somebody young to assist and get us organized. So thank you very much. So big round of applause with your emojis and whatnot to welcome Devin, right? All right, super. Any public testimony on that? All right, wonderful.
Well, I'm sorry, Devin, I didn't catch your last name.
Oh, it's Goo, Goo. All right, Devin, if you, I think I'll make sure that everyone has your email address, the rest of the commissioners. Okay, and then we're going to do some updates on commission legislative priorities. Yes, so where shall we start? Let's see.
Chair, if you're all right with it, can I just, since we have a lot on the agenda, I'll just go through since unfortunately a lot of our stuff is dead.
Yes, please, thank you.
Okay, so turning your attention to the board packet, under legislative priorities, B, our only vehicle left was SB when it came to the gender affirming care, SB 1150 that died on unceremonious death in a joint hearing on the Senate side. So our only avenue to helping protect gender affirming care right now is the executive order from the governor. Expanding gender markers never received any hearing, so that's dead. Mandate private funded for insurance coverage for gender affirming care. Those two bills never received hearings, so those are dead. The hate crimes bill is being heard tomorrow, so if you haven't turned in your testimony yet, you still have a chance to. The hearing's at 2. It's for SB 1149 that's being heard in this House's Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs Committee, and all that information is available on all our social media channels. As reported earlier, the banning on gender mutilation for intersex infants, that bill received 1 hearing in the House and no hearings in the Senate, so that's dead for this session. To amend the surrogacy laws, this is out of the parentage, updating the parentage laws. The House version is dead. The Senate version is still alive, is very much alive, and it only has 1 hearing, so that's 1 referral. So that's good. So no hearings yet, but it only has 1 referral. And then establishing emergency low barrier shelters. The House version is still alive. HB 613. And the Senate version is dead. So we encourage everybody to reach out to the chairs of Health and Human Services on the House side to get that hearing on HB 613.
Oh, excuse me. Hey, Michael, I'm sorry. Just to make sure I have it correct, it's Health and Human Services at the Senate side, not the House side. So it'd be Senator Sam Benaventura. And I talked to them again today, and she said that as of today, it's not scheduled. So if we can't submit testimony, this is one of those things where you actually have to call her.
Yeah.
And we call Senator Sam Ben. Yeah, so please call Senator Sam Benaventura. This is for the shelter for the unaccompanied for youth, homeless, unhoused youth. And so as of now, the problem is it has to go through 2 committees. First, the Health and Human Service one, and then it's going to go through their money people. I think it's Ways and Means or something. But first, it has to get through Senator San Bonaventura's committee, and she hasn't scheduled, or they haven't scheduled it yet. Whoever scheduled.
That's
So
why I told everybody to reach out to the chair of Health.
Yeah, but it's on the Senate side. So it's not the House side anymore. It's moved over to the Senate.
Sorry, it's the
so
House.
We need, yeah. So if you guys could, I don't know if Michael knows the phone number. Do I want me just to find the phone number and post it in the chat?
Yeah, why don't you do that while I finish going through the rest of these bills?
Sure.
We got our bill numbers for the resolution to establish the task force. I will say this, that the resolutions you see before you were not the ones that were submitted, but you take what you can get. You can draft whatever you want, but once you hold it over to the legislators can then amend it as they see fit. So those are the for those that are other priorities. The resolution to establish is for education requirements is on hold until 2026. And then the mental health care, those bills are dead now. So that's where we're at. We only have 3 vehicles alive when it comes to priorities for the commission. Well, actually, sorry, 4 now with the resolution. So 3 bills and 2 concurrent resolutions. And so I have already updated the legislative tracker to remove all the dead bills and add in the resolutions and also track other resolutions that we really should have been included on, since they deal with our community at some level or another. So those are in that tracker as well. So unfortunately, we got those resolutions too late to be added to this. So we are going to be following our legislative policy on that, and the chair and I will work those out on if we're going to support them, and if they ever get a hearing, those that are not already on our legislative priorities. Other than that, I do want to remind everybody that we encourage everybody, do not just rely on the commission submitting testimony. My fellow commissioners, I'm talking to you, to also submit testimony in support of all of those last 4 vehicles that we have. And anybody else out there in Zoom land or in the meeting today, we also encourage you to help support, because we need all the support we can get, because our opposition is becoming more and more emboldened to come after anything that would bring justice and equality to the LGBTQIA plus community. So that's where we are at with our legislative priorities at this point.
Thank you so much, Michael. And I know that Alex had the question, is there a website to access this info if we don't have social media?
Yes, our tracker is available on our website via the DHS website.
Alex, let us know if that doesn't fully answer your question. And Dean, I see you have your hand up.
Michael, just a question about SB 1850, which was the bill to allow the pride flag to fly at the state capitol. I know it didn't even get a hearing, and I'm not sure if it was on the commission's, I thought it was on the commission's approved list. But if next year that can be raised again, it would be great to find some support for that, since the flying of the flag now, as you know, is being prohibited at federal buildings and many other locations. Yeah.
We'll see if it makes our priority list. It did make our support list, not our priority list. And the reason it didn't get a hearing is because nobody advocated for it. When bills, just because they get introduced, and it's going to take the those that advocate for that bill to get those bills heard. And that bill did gin up some opposition to it from our opposition, and they are becoming much more vocal and much more fearless. And the one thing I will say, no matter what you think about our opposition, is that they're reliable. They will turn out testimony time and time again. And unfortunately, it's like pulling teeth to get our side in our community. And I do want to thank you for bringing that up, because moving back to SB 1150, it was embarrassing that we had almost the same number of unions show up and submit testimony as we did queer organizations. So we're out here working our butts off getting these bills heard, but when our community doesn't show up, it's really hard. And especially when the legislators get deluged in negative anti-testimony as well as anti-phone calls. So it's going to require everybody to step up when we come up, especially with these last 3 bills, and if those resolutions get hearings, as to moving forward to make sure that we get something passed. And so,
thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Michael. And Michael has provided all kinds of wonderful information about the legislative process in the board packet. He does literally talks about this, so we appreciate your expertise around that, Michael. Yeah. Okay, we have public testimony. Any public testimony? Okay. Then we have a list in the board packet of bills and resolutions that we want to think about and vote on whether or not we are supporting these bills. So I want to go through them, and there are live links in your board packet to read more about them. I'll just read the brief description that Michael included. First, we have 589 with the Civil Rights Commission, gubernatorial nominee Joanne Adams for a term to expire in June 30 of 2028.
I move that we support Joanne Adams' appointment to that commission.
Second.
Do I- Second, thank you, Rick is seconded. Any abstentions? All those in favor?
Chair, to ask for any public testimony before you vote.
Oh, okay, sorry, public testimony on 589. Okay, then we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Please note, 7, that all are in favor. So that will have our support.
Question.
House-
I'm sorry,
Oh.
Chair. Does that mean that we'll be sending a letter of support?
What that means is we'll submit testimony in support of once the hearing happens. And again, that's already added to our tracker with the so that encourages everybody, don't just like I said, don't just rely on our commission's testimony if you want to support Joanne Adams to being on the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission.
Yeah, so generally, if we say we're supporting it, that means we're writing a letter on behalf of the commission. But like Michael said, then everyone can individually also write letters, and that's really helpful. Okay, House Bill 900 establishes a working group for legal services for youth in the child welfare system with the judiciary. Any discussion?
I move that we support the bill and then request representation from either from this commission.
Okay, can I have any public testimony on that before we vote? None? Okay, so Michael, I'm sorry, repeat that one more time just for our notes.
That we support the measure with a requested amendment with representation from this commission on that working group.
Do I have a second? Shanda has seconded. Any abstentions? All those in favor? All right, and we shall support HB 900. Next up, we have HB 1118, prohibits new non-medical immunization exemptions for school-aged children.
Withdrawn, it died. Sorry. It was, yeah, withdrawn. It's been re-referred back to committee. So it's dead for this session.
Thank you. Senate Bill 1225, CONAM to have blank votes and overvotes not counted as no votes for constitutional amendments. And we'll remember that that was something that we were talking a lot about when we were trying to get that through. Any discussion or public testimony?
I move that we support the bill.
Do I have a second? I think I saw Joe's hand first. Joe seconds. Any abstentions? All those in favor? Okay, we will support Senate Bill 1225. Senate Bill 1300, free school meals for Alice families. Just so everyone understands, because this is actually one thing I do know a few things about. Currently, we provide Title I schools, and those are the schools with the highest amount of those living in poverty, with free lunch. If the students qualify, free lunch and breakfast, and if there's a certain percentage, above a certain percentage of those students who qualify in those Title I schools, then they're fully free and reduced lunch for the entire school population. Title I is one of the things that the current administration is threatening to remove. So therefore, this would be to work with those who are still going to be in need of free lunches, especially if that is taken away. Any discussion or public testimony?
Just a quick discussion that there were those as advocates trying to get free school lunches for all the kids, because even if your parents may not qualify, if you are having a hostile living environment, they may not provide you money, they may not have food available or make school lunch available for you. And so that's why one of these reasons it's a issue for our community, that making sure that our future LGBTQI adults have access to a positive learning environment by being able to at least have one decent meal a day. And so I'm going to move that we support the bill.
I have a second. Rick, seconds.
Second.
Any abstentions? All those in favor? Okay, we will support Senate Bill 1300. Senate Bill 1641 supports Hawaii's film industry with a workforce development piece. Discussion? Public testimony?
Real quickly, this was a request, especially from several people in our community, that we support this to help, because surprise, surprise, there are a lot of queer people in the arts. So giving them an avenue to be able to get a job and a paying job at that, this would be a wonderful avenue. So then Sandy has her hand raised.
Sandy.
Hi, yeah, excuse me. I just wanted to say that I don't know if y'all know who Bill Meyer is. He's the guy, he's a lawyer here who worked really hard to make sure that the film industry could come out here to Hawaii. He said that besides the fact that most of the legislation they're working on is completely dead for this, he is begging for testimony from the public to get this reinvigorated. So I am going to have to back up what Michael says. We have a lot of people in our LGBT community that is in the film industry out here, and so it's very, very important that we support this. And there is a lot of opposition in the Congress, I mean, in the legislature for it.
So I'll move that we I move that we support the bill.
Do I have a second? Sandy seconds. All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, any abstentions?
Public testimony. Oh, you already asked for that. No worries.
And then all in favor. All right, we will support Senate Bill 1641. And finally, Senate Bill 1651 requires board packets to be posted 72 business hours before the meeting. And I'd love some discussion and public testimony, and certainly from Michael, who so graciously prepares our wonderful board packets.
We have Kat and I have already discussed this. Well, we've already testified. This commission's already testified on this bill that we support the intent, but we asked for it to go back to 48 hours. Just so everybody understands because even our elected officials don't understand that our agenda goes up on Monday. That means by Wednesday at 2:30, I would have to have the board packet. So you all would only have less than 48 hours to get me anything that you'd like in the board packet. Because ideally the board packet is supposed to be firm by the time it goes to it goes out to the public. We have found a workaround, which is the Google folder that we put the board packet into, so people have access to it. Yeah, because even the state's calendar, it's supposed to be listed there as well. The only way to do that is to put that Google folder and be able to update it. The problem with that is that if you are looking at it from a state computer, you may not be able to open up any of the Google documents that we're using. And ideally it's supposed to be listed on our website as well. And the only workaround for that, given the fact that we do not have somebody who's dedicated solely to our commission to doing editing the website, is that it basically what happens. We're lucky we get updates when they're available, when the staff is available. So this well, support the intent. It's the idea that we would want it amended to go back to the 48 hours beforehand. Business, well, yeah.
Any further discussion or public testimony? Okay, can I have a motion?
I move that we support the bill with the requested amendment of 48 hours instead of 72.
Second, is that Sandy's hand? Second, Thank you, Sandy. Any abstentions? All those in favor? All right, we will support 1651 with the amendment of 48 hours rather than 72. All right, thank you all.
Madam Chair, just
Yes.
if there's any other bills that come up, you just let Kat know that you would like the commission, and you are going to be responsible for drafting that testimony because, yeah. So if there's other bills you want the commission to testify on, as long as you and Kat concur, and get it out there so we can, there's other things. We're down to 1,500 bills or so left in the session since we've already, and we're going to be down to a lot less as we hit the first deadline for this crossover. So
Thank you, Michael. All right, moving on to update on Commissioner's website. That is, I hope you all take a look at it because Michael's been working hard to get all the information to the person who is updating the website for us. But do we have any suggestions for inclusion on the website? Anything else that you all might want to include?
and if, Madam Chair, if
Yes.
you don't have anything right now, email them to me. Please include a URL. I am not, my last name is Golojuch, not Google. Yeah. So if you don't have anything right now, that's fine. Or if the public has something they would like to see, we will, you can email the commission web at our Hawaii State LGBTQ plus commission at gmail.com, and we will look at that. No guarantees though, because there are certain things we cannot post to the state website.
I would recommend that we list all future meetings out for the rest of the year. As well as we know if we change them, we would have to change it, but that way someone can go and look and see when the meetings will be. Am I not seeing that?
Suggestion. We only have 4 more actually like that we've talked about and voted on, but we can take a look at the next meeting, agreeing on keeping the day and time from August, and then we can list them beyond that.
I can have that updated, yeah, because right now it just says we meet the second Monday of every month at 2:30 without the dates listed. So we can have the dates added.
Others, any suggestions? How about from the public testimony, any suggestions? Okay, thank you again, Michael, for keeping that up to date. Okay, update on the letter to the governor requesting the executive order to turn Hawaii into a sanctuary state for gender affirming care. We have had no direct letter back. There are some notes in the board package you might want to review. Public testimony on that. Okay. Update on inviting Governor Green to a meeting. I did send an email that's also included.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, back on that session. What would be really nice about the executive order, if we were to hear something positive from our different departments when it comes to access to gender affirming care from like the Department of Health, or I'm getting reports that students are walking up to some of our queer kids and saying, you don't have any protections anymore. The president said so. So it'd be nice if the superintendent were to put something out that to remind them that Chapter 19 is still in effect, that they cannot, just because we're being crapped on by at the federal level, that we do have state protections. And we have been asking, like you'll see in that, we did, the working group has been requesting something from that, like that from the AG, but that does not stop the different directors or departments from reiterating the fact that we do have Chapter 19, that we have non-discrimination laws, and we do have, that there are, that access to gender affirming care, last I was told, was covered under non-discrimination, and that we do have laws about accessing, denying healthcare to our trans community. So it would be really great if our departments, as we wait for the governor to do something and support our community, that if we can't get that from the governor, that hopefully we can get it from the different state departments.
And Thad, you raised your hand?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone that the Department of Health does have a statement on transgender rights and public health, which is published on the website. I could put the link in the chat and have folks refer to that. So that's been very helpful, and there has been no change in the way that we're doing our Department of Health work. But I don't know if this is something that the commission can do because I'm not as familiar, but if the commission maybe could ask, formally ask the Director of Health, maybe he would make a more formal current statement. But I will put that link in the chat. That's back from September 2023, where the department really just wanted to kind of get ahead of what we thought what might be coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thad. The DOH has a fantastic website. And I have utilized that website as a resource in many a class. I will say that when I Google LGBTQ+ on the DOE's website, the only thing I get is the Civil Rights Office. So there are no resources there, but there weren't even before. So I've always appreciated the Department of Health's resources. Anyone else?
Yes.
Hi, Beth.
Hi. We do have on the Department of Education website, we do have non-discrimination notices, and we do have the transgender guidelines that are available. We have been given status quo from the superintendent as well as our deputy superintendents. So I guess what we are also asking for guidance from the AG's office, and we have a group that is called a watch group that is, trying to watch all these bills and how they're impacting us in particular. And I'm talking civil rights in general. But there's a gentleman here who's on our staff. He is a civil rights compliance officer for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And he is kind of like our federal contact, where we're getting as much firsthand information as we can when it happens, so that we can stay on top of what's going on. Just thought I would.
No, that's wonderful. And I'm wondering, that transgender policy, I've always been able to pull it up as a PDF. I had heard 4 or 5 years ago it was going to be revamped, but it's the same one. But what is if you don't mind putting in the website, how we get to that on the DOE's website, because I have tried that before and not found it. So I would love to be able to quickly tell people where those resources are.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Any other discussion? And public testimony? Okay. I did send a letter to Governor Josh Green inviting him and let his office know the next 3 meeting dates after this. So we will remain hopeful there. Certainly, if anybody has a personal connection and would like to make a personal invite, I always think that's powerful. I do not, but yeah, let me know if you do. Discussion or public testimony on that? Alrighty, then we'll move on to the update on the letter regarding the anti-LGBTQIA+ policies for students at Maui Academy.
All right, Chairman.
Right,
sorry.
yes.
I'm sorry, I'm at home now and there's a situation right here, so I'm gonna have to step away. I believe we should still have a quorum without me, and I'll try to get back before the end of the meeting.
Thank you. All right, so we did write another letter to Maui Preparatory Academy. We did get one seating email back, and that's in the board packet. Any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I do want to take this opportunity to thank the Maui Prep Ohana for their testimony and especially the former the alumni, that this is not an issue I'm gonna let drop anytime soon. I hope we do not. But it's my recommendation that since we don't have anything to vote on today on this, that we then, if we don't hear anything from them by our next before our next meeting goes to agenda goes to the thing, that we draft another letter to send to them and we have it for approval, as well as use this opportunity to start gathering the contact information for all their donors. Because that is in our letter that we would be reaching out to their donors. And it's my understanding that they haven't let all their donors know the bigotry steps they're taking, and the fact that they're trying to use a former student, an alumni, as shield, I found completely distasteful. And that then we can, hopefully that we'll get a formal response, but because an email from somebody without a Maui Prep email, even though he is the treasurer, that I would hopefully we get a formal response from the Maui Prep. And if you're paying attention up there, Maui Prep, we'd love to hear from you directly in a formal capacity, and you're more than welcome to come to one of our meetings, or reach out to the chair. So but yeah, that is I think that the best course of action for us is that hopefully that if people want to provide us that in Zoom land, since we're all just volunteers here as well, to contact information and email addresses for donors to Maui Prep. So if we need to, we'll head down that avenue, since we need to protect our keiki, and this is one of the ways, and send a message loud and clear that we are here to support and that we will not take discrimination lightly.
Sadly, I'm sure this is just the first. So, important to take a strong stand now, I think. Anyone else? If you haven't read the testimony and the correspondence, make sure you do so. That is in the board packet. Okay, if no public testimony, then we'll move on to discussion and vote on establishing our mission statement for the commission. And let's see what's in here. What page am I on with this?
Page 7. I'm sharing my screen with the commission so everybody can see the statement as presented in the board packet.
There we go.
My only recommendations is to add Mahu in front of the LGBTQ, and then add the IA to the draft statement. So
Yeah, this is what we talked about last meeting, and that was what you all came up with last meeting.
I'm sorry, I moved. There you go. Sorry.
Yeah. So we'd like to be able to vote on making this official. So what discussion might we have around what you're reading right now? You need any further changes, or is this going to look good as is?
I move we accept the draft statement as amended.
I second.
Let me call for public testimony first. Hang on. Okay. Any public testimony? Okay, Michael moved to accept as is, and Sandy seconded.
Yeah. No, as amended.
As amended, sorry, as amended, and Sandy seconded. Any abstentions? All those in favor? All right, then we will accept that as our mission statement, and hopefully that'll be up on our website. That's exciting. Thank you for sharing that, Michael. And then we move on to an update on Queer Community Leaders Meeting, and Sandy, please and thank you.
Hi there. So yes, we are going to be holding an event for the LGBTQI+ community, and it is going to be bringing in allies. It's going to be bringing in people from the LGBT community, organizations, so that we can meet one another, understand what all of our resources are, and build a stronger network. The event is going to be taking place March 20th. And what we'll be doing is we've created a list based on the contacts that I received from the commission, the contacts that the Legacy Foundation have, and the contacts that Camaron at UH have. And so we'll be the Legacy Foundation are sending out invitations today, going out to these organizations and groups, community groups and businesses, and letting them know about that. So it'll be taking place from 5:30 to 8 on the 20th. And from 5:30 to 6 will be like a social half hour, people like chatting. And then starting at 6, Coco Chandelier will begin as MC and just let everyone start introducing themselves, and will explain what this is meant to be. So we are asking that commissioners come. For the organizations that we're inviting, we're allowing 2 people per organization to come because of space requirements. So that is something that we're letting those people know that are coming. Now, from 6 to 8, that will be the portion where everybody's meeting one another. Legacy Foundation has offered to provide poo-poo and drinks for everyone while we're there. They're also, like I said, sending out the invitations. So that will be at the Legacy Center, and I'll send out the I'll send out the street address for that for everyone so that they'll know what it is. And what I'll do is I'll make sure that Michael gets a copy of the invitation so that he can put it on our social media.
Okay, this is wonderful. Sadly, that's during, the new date is March 20th, which is during spring break, and I will be off island.
Okay. So what we'll do is, Michael, will you be here?
Yes.
Okay, so what we'll do is, instead of Kat talking, we'll have you speak and introduce the commission and all that stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, I rarely take a vacation, but we
just so happened to be that week, right?
Yeah, that was the only time the stars aligned, so there you have it.
Right. I do want to make a comment, a public comment about something that's not related to this. Should I do that in new business?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. So that's all there is for that. If anyone has any questions, let me know. I only received a couple of suggestions from Rick. If anyone else has any groups or organizations that they think would be a good invite for these, please send me an email with name, email, website, and what the organization is. Thank you.
Sandy, did you get my list? I sent you at least a half a dozen names. And
yeah, I got your list. I got to go back through and make sure I got all of those because I was doing it on my phone. So I'm going to go back through and make sure I copied and pasted all of those.
Okay, thank you.
Candy, some folks are asking for an invite link in the chat and also your email. And I will say on list of folks to invite, we do have Scott Sutherland on today from Windward Community College, and they have a wonderful commission that he sits on, an LGBT commission. So I nominate Scott Sutherland to be on that list.
I'm so sorry. I don't even know what you're nominating me for. I was writing an email.
During spring break, there is a event organized with the Legacy Foundation, and we're going to have a little talk story about what's going on with LGBTQ folks, and we are looking for a short invite list of people who might want to attend. And so Sandy is putting that together, and she just put her email in the chat. So if you or anyone else is interested, let her know. March 20th, and it's 5:30 to 8 at the Legacy Foundation in Waikiki.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. All right. And Sandy, thanks for doing so much work in such a short amount of time on that. I know that you and Camaron were both working on that, and that is very appreciated. Just in a month, that was all done, right? Wonderful.
Just like a couple of weeks.
Wow, fantastic. All right, update on accepting private funding that Rick was looking into. Rick, you want to give us an update since you're back?
Oh, Thank you. Basically what I did was simply contact two commissions, the Commission on Fatherhood, Jeff Esmond's the chair, and they, as it turns out, don't have a mechanism for accepting funds outside of the state. A separate nonprofit was one of the considerations. I contacted the new executive director of the Commission on the Status of Women, and I think we are lucky enough to have one of the members on in our meeting today. But the new executive director said that there is not currently such a nonprofit or organization or mechanism, that there was one in the past, but she didn't have a lot of information and said that there were some problems in trying to get that managed, making sure everything stayed separate and making sure that people who worked were not able to we're not able to work on commission business and state business and nonprofit business at the same time. Everything had to be kept very separate. So right now we don't have a good, clear model to use that's extant.
Thank you for researching that, Rick. Any discussion or public testimony on that? And from now, until we figure out a way, it doesn't seem there is a way, and we also got an email from Erin also saying that she was looking into it a bit, but we need more information, and there doesn't seem to be a mechanism currently, so that will be on hold. Okay. Under new business, Commission purchasing its own owl. So that's the device that we're using right now that sits in the middle of the room here. It's just Devin and I at DHS today, but we're relying on DHS's owl, and with all the upcoming emergency meetings that will be being held, there may be times where we can't use it, and then it's going to make it very difficult. We have to have a physical location for the meeting, and also we have to be able to hear everybody online. We'd like to purchase an owl, and I spoke with the chair of the Fatherhood Commission, and he is willing to talk about sharing the expense of that, so we can split it and then share the owl. So that is the idea. Discussion or public testimony? They are about $1,000 each. It is not a cheap device by any means, but it is a very, very convenient one.
I have an administrative question. Where will the owl live? Do we have a space that we can put it at, maybe the Department of Health or wherever?
Well,
I'm
DHS.
hoping Devin will house it here at DHS in a safe place.
Yes, I can do that.
She said yes, good.
I move
We
that
have-
we move forward with the purchase of the owl in concert with the Fatherhood Commission.
Any seconds?
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, sorry, any abstentions? All those in favor? All right, we will work with Jeff.
Testimony?
Sorry,
No,
Aaron. Did I hear Aaron say something?
Oh, yeah. Did you ask for public testimony?
I said
Sorry if I-
discussion, testimony, sorry, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then moving on to discussion of building a coalition with other Kupuna, Maui, and LGBTQIA+ organizations to identify and address the needs of our communities, Kupuna, especially Maui, trans, non-binary, and intersex. And Michael prepared a bit about that in the board packet. Do you want to just give a brief statement about that, Michael, to sum it up?
Just that apparently we definitely need to start working on this, and it's outside of these meetings and engaging everybody that we can to help with this issue, because this is something that's just going to grow as we move forward. It's my hope that there's going to be enough interest that we can form a permitted interaction group for this endeavor. And just so everybody knows that that's better than a committee, because you don't have to sunshine it, but you do have to report back and keep track of everything that you do. and that the pig cannot make statements on behalf of the commission. They cannot make decisions on behalf of the commission, that they have to bring everything back, and the commission needs to support or oppose or support whatever they're doing before it becomes policy, and you cannot financially obligate the commission to anything or legally obligate us to anything in the pig. But this is to basically hopefully put together a working group to deal with the specific needs of our community, the grain of the rainbow, as it were. So
Michael has listed some organizations he's suggesting we work with on this to build a coalition on board.
So if I may, unless Thaddeus, you would like to speak to this, I'll volunteer. The Department of Health Sexual and Gender Minority Work Group has exactly this. We actually just met today, and I'm the lead for the Kapuna committee. We're meeting monthly, and we have some of these folks that are already involved. The Executive Office on Aging is included. I don't even know who all is included, but there were quite a few people last month. This month there was we are talking Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center. Certainly we have not considered including AARP or the Kapuna Caucus, but we are pulling in Papa Ololokahi, and now I'm getting confused with UH, Office of Public Health Studies, the Executive Office on Aging, the Legacy Foundation, and a past chair of Hawaii Civil Rights Commission. So we already have a pretty strong working group devoted to this. I think us participating via myself and Thaddeus is a great way to not reinvent the wheel. And certainly anyone on the commission can participate in that. I don't know if we had more commissioners participating, if we would need to make that a pig. If so, I think that's a great idea.
Shanda? Yeah, what's your opinion about a way we could help from this? How could we help you and Thaddeus' work group?
I think the best way is to link in people to cross-pollinate. So Michael's ideas of some of these people I would never have thought of to invite. So we can definitely collaborate to add to it. And any of the commissioners are obviously welcome to show up. And if that is, in order for more commissioners to show up and participate, which I encourage, if we need to somehow turn that into a pig, that would be, I don't know the specifics of that, but I think that would be great.
Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have more than 2 commissioners that want to help out and sit on this committee on behalf of the commission, we would have to create a pig, but we could have no more than 4, because 5 you hit our quorum, it creates quorum. And so, yeah.
Right. A pig is just less than quorum, and obviously more than 1. So you could even have a pig of 2. And yeah, did that answer your question?
Hey, Aaron, so I'm wondering, so if just for future reference in general, if more than 2 or 3 commissioners join any community group, could we have a pig just to make sure that we're following correct guidelines? Or we can do it just if we all happen to be on the same committee in the community?
Yeah, it kind of depends on how the reason for your participation in that group. Like, it sounds like in this case, you are going to be on this group to represent the commission as the commission's representatives. And so you would probably want to form a pig in this way. Although I'm not quite clear on what the pig is going to do. Like, are they investigating something? Are they just attending these meetings? That would have to be made clear when you vote for the pig. and what they're going to do in their authority. I think Michael had outlined some things earlier. They can't vote on behalf of the commission or something, or commit the commission to certain whatever endeavors. But yeah, so it depends, right? If there's just a community group out there, and it just so happens that you guys all join it, not in your capacity as commissioners, but in your individual capacity, that's one thing. Obviously, you shouldn't discuss board business amongst each other when you're attending those meetings. But if you, in this case, if it is to represent the commission on the group, then you should probably form a PIG.
As opposed to joining some committee on your own and not representing the commission. If two of us happen to end up on organization and we're not representing this commission, that's okay, right?
Right, that's different. Correct.
All right. Thank you.
So for example, in case anybody's wondering, well, what is going on? A couple of the things that we're discussing right now is creating something like a statement that can be available for Kupuna. I liken it to a post, the physician order for life-sustaining treatment. That's a little single piece of paper that you put on your refrigerator that says, I'm a DNR in case the medics come. It would be like that I could fill out a quick thing, and I can copy, maybe Thaddeus will put it in the chat for me, that says, these are my pronouns. This is what's important to me regarding my gender, so that if the medics come and I'm unable to express myself, then I won't get degendered, misgendered, whatever. And that way people can express their preferences at home, if they're going into long-term care, if they're at a foster home, any situation like that. And then our committee is working on collaborating with different organizations throughout the state to disseminate this information and get feedback and information from folks. And how do we coordinate with, say, the care home organization, so they'll understand this and respect it. This was all brought out based on some feedback from the community. Somebody said that his client had been ungendered in a care home and by a funeral parlor, unknowingly or maliciously. Sometimes I'm sure it's both at times, but this would be a way to educate the community as to, hey, this is something that we can do to protect ourselves and to respect our autonomy. So that's something that we're working on. And then the 5 M's of geriatric care to provide, to alert people to what's important and how they, basically their rights in end of life care. So, and of course, anybody in the community that brings anything up is welcome to bring up more, but we're focused on the needs of the LGBTQ plus community.
Does this seem to cover what you're talking about, Michael?
Actually, I was thinking bigger, about making sure that maybe, because what we're seeing in Palm Springs and other areas is actually a facility dedicated to the queer, as a queer graying, and making sure that's the ultimate goal of the ideas that were out there that were actually brought to me from members of our community. But I know that's a long-term goal, but the short-term goals is making sure that our kupuna know what access, what rights they have is great, but also making sure that they know they should be having access to the state-funded assisted living facilities. That we have way too many and transgender people living in our elderly living in homeless shelters or on a couch surfing, because they do not have the safety nets of the Social Security checks coming in. well, who knows who has gonna have those anymore. But anyways, I digress. That's the kind of thing that this is the idea that I was, and if that's something that this working group was going to work towards, great. If not, then yeah, it would have been great to know about this in advance before today's meeting that we could, and that's the kind of things that we're gonna, when I ask for things to put in the board packet, these are the kinds of things I'm asking for. Because we need to educate, we're supposed to help bridge the gap between government and our community. And that's one of our roles here as the commissioners, is that we get this, this stuff out there to as farther to our community as possible. And
Absolutely. And I brought this up last month when we talked about it, Michael, and I'm sorry that there was no further follow-up on that. So now we have.
Shanda, can you
Yes,
tell
sir.
me, I see the form that thanks, that's a great form that you have, that Thad put up for us. And I see it comes from SAGE, which is the elderly LGBT, and I'm especially concerned, and I did see them at the recent conference. They're very, very active group all across the country, but I have not been successful in finding any local chapters. Were you guys able to find out, is there any representative or anything like that in Hawaii for SAGE? Are you aware of them? Or I found some in their national office and they couldn't direct me to any.
I'm not aware of any, no.
Oh, okay. But thanks for doing this. And if there's big, if we decide to do one, I would love to be involved with this. Thank you.
So that's already 2 members. So I move that we create a PIG for this, for the commission, for to address the graying of our community, to be able to be active members of this working group out of the SGM, out of the Department of Health.
Okay, do I have public testimony? Any further discussion?
Yeah, this is Daddy. So I'll just note, that makes sense because what Shannon and I are working on are kind of at the service delivery level, right? So these are where trainings and data collection and support at that level for caregivers and providers. So if the commission is looking at a PIG that's more policy oriented, that would make sense. So I want to note that. Thanks.
That. All right, Michael has moved to create a PIG. Do I have a second? Sandy seconds. Any abstentions? All those in favor? All right, we approve. Thank you very much. And thank you, Shanda and Beth, for the work that you're currently doing. Okay, so discussion of commission's 2025 Pride participation. Starting this off, last year we marched in the parade. We did not have a booth. And honestly, for those of us who attended the festival afterwards, there was a whole lot of people and the booths had a whole lot of things to give away, and we may not be up to that capability. The noise alone, I was only good for about an hour and then I had to go home, so just saying. It was a wild party. They were having a great time and it was wonderful. But it was a very big deal. It wasn't just like having a booth at a small kind of a get together. It was it would involve a lot. So I'm just gonna open that up like that. Everyone else? Philip.
I will invite you all to our Pride, which is Saturday, June 7th. There is a, we're very small. You big Oahu people, 73,000 permanent residents here. So there's a parade. I think it starts at 10. It's usually over by 11. And then there is a festival, which is in the lawn of our county building, and a stage, and there are performances. It's very lovely. Some food trucks. It's very nice, small town, friendly, happens during the day. The festival's over at 2. It is not a giant elaborate thing. it's not loud and crowded like the Oahu event was, which, you know, is another thing and is also fun. But I always participate in the parade in some capacity. You know, some of the things that I do, I'm always a part of it and have been since it started. Our first Pride Parade was 2019. So this is, I think, and we did not do one 2020 because of COVID, but I'll be there. My husband and I have a great after party in our beautiful home with a lovely pool, and you're all invited. And so, yeah, if the commission wants to show up as, you know, and participate, we can do that. I think we could have a booth. There are quite a few community organizations like RY. I think there's, you know, like Mothers Against Guns or something. So there are booths where food is being sold and tchotchke is being, you know, sold and handed out. But there are also some more social political organizations that have a presence, and I think we could be there and just let people know we exist. So I'll extend the invitation.
I love it. Sandy.
I almost forgot that I raised my hand. So I have a question, and I did a search through our guidelines and everything to find out, but I think I missed something. Can we, if we're doing a pride table at the festival, can we sell like t-shirts to raise money and stuff like that? I know that we can't do it on state property or anything like that, but I didn't see anything about specifically like a festival type thing. So I thought I would ask.
I don't know where the money would go to because we're not a nonprofit. Like,
There's nowhere for us to put the money in. That's the whole thing about taking in private funds. Because
that's what I was wondering. Okay. Okay, that was the only thing I found was the lack of like place to put it. So that's what I was wondering. Okay, thanks.
Here, question. So for Philip, Joe, and Rocco, I think their prides are this fiscal year still, or you can at least spend the money this fiscal year. Do you know how much, like, should we budget money to sponsor these kinds of events?
okay, so I think first of all, we have to talk about how much are the booths at each of these events. We need that information.
Chair, that you're jumping ahead of the conversation. So this is just to have a quick discussion and set leads for each of the different prides. So that's all that's on the agenda for today, because we need people to come back with whatever they were going to request from us for the commission to participate in those prides. Because so they have 3 weeks from today's meeting to come back with the budget, so we can put it in the ideally to have it in the board packet, so we can all review that before we make a vote in our April meeting.
Although our budget includes $500 for each of the prides.
Yeah.
So we already voted on that.
Right.
Unless we want more.
Those were, I guess, that budget it was my understanding was for 2024 prides, that we put that money set aside for. Oh, maybe we didn't. We didn't put a date on it. Oh, but
yeah, I think it was for this fiscal year.
Those were just dollar figures I threw out there without any insight from any of the groups, from any of the different commissioners, because there was no input. So the
we did have
Rick, Rick, can I please finish? Please don't interrupt me. Thank you. So we can move forward, that we actually have a budget, so we can move forward with each of these different prides, so we can expend almost as much of our 18,000 as possible and get the most bang out of our bucks as we move forward. So that's the reason I requested this be put on the agenda for today, so we can at least begin that ball rolling, so we are fiscally responsible with our taxpayer dollars.
Okay, so what he's talking about, I'm gonna take everyone, don't worry. Is having that budget to know how much it would cost to participate on what level from the leads. We're also going to have to think then afterwards about the cost of people traveling to these places. Because like if it's all Oahu commissioners going to Hawaii, you know, that is going to be a big cost. So we're gonna have to think about those things too. So the first thing is, how much is it going to cost and how might we participate? So now let's see, Joe, you had your hand up first.
I just wanted to put in that we probably won't be having a parade here on our island again. If anything, it will be a small street fair festival because we just don't have enough people to be in different committees to get it all together. So I just wanted to put that out.
Hey, Joe, can you be the lead then to let us know what is going on and if there is something that's going to happen and how we might participate and if there is a cost?
Yes.
Thank you. And then Rick.
Just a point of clarification, we did get the $500 figure from what the booths that we did check. I checked too myself, and that's what they cost. So the $500 figure did come from how much it cost for a there was sponsorship at that level for the booth. That did not include travel funding, but just to have a booth. And I don't know if we were thinking back then about, sending people, but that's what the booths were going for, the two that I checked. Thank you.
Yeah, the leads can let us know what a booth would require and how long it's gonna be and all the things, so then we can think about who can actually be in the booth if we do the booth, and then we can think about the travel and all the things. Philip, are you good with being our lead for Hawaii? Can you give us the deeds?
Sure, yeah. And I have the information, so I will send it in an email very soon.
Great. Fantastic, and we can put that in the board packet. Rocco is not here, but I can follow up with him to ask him to be the lead for Hawaii Island. Let us know about.
Isn't Kona Pride in October?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so is Oahu. So is Oahu. Yes.
Yes. And then who wants to be the lead on Oahu Pride? Remind us of how much it's going to cost, or if costs change or whatnot for 2025.
I'll do it.
Thank you, Michael. Okay. So once we have all that information, hopefully you all can get it to us before the next meeting, so we can put it in the board packet, and then we can start talking about human power and travel expenses and all the things that go along with it. We do have a banner from last year, so there is that.
We have two
All
now.
right, that's public testimony on that. Okay, then we're gonna vote to establish the leads. So, can we do this all in one? Is that okay if I say, can we vote on, okay. Can someone move that Michael is the lead on the, primary for, and Luke is Hawaii, and Joe is Maui, and Rocco is Island of Hawaii.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
3 seconds, okay? A second. Any abstentions?
Oh,
All those,
okay. No,
sorry, what?
no, just kidding. Move ahead. I will vote yes.
All in favor? All right. Rick, is your hand up? Were you in favor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Want to make sure Devin has the count. Okay, awesome. So then, discussion on financially supporting Gender Journey Day, and that was in the packet, the Gender Journey packet, and they showed it on also the screen of the different levels of sponsorship. So, Shanda, do you want to lead that discussion and let us know what you're thinking about?
Thank you. Yes, I would love for us to support Gender Journeys Day, and I think supporting it either the $500 level or the $1,000 level would be awesome. And that would, if we look at it, that we are facilitating obviously support of this, but we can also look at it as encouraging inclusion of a larger portion of the state, excuse me. So if we're thinking of it as travel assistance for the outer island folks coming in, that is an even more inclusive than supporting the day in general.
Other thoughts?
To be consistent, I feel more comfortable with the $500 level, since that's what we did for HRRC. So I guess I'll make that motion that we support the Gender Journeys Day at the $500 level.
That includes 3 people coming, 3 participants, it looks like on their chart, right? All right,
whatever-
yeah. Right. Anyone else discussion? Public testimony? Okay, Michael's moved that we give $500 gender journey day. Do I have a second?
Sandy,
Philip seconds. Any abstentions? All those in favor? Awesome. Okay. We will give $500 for gender journey days, and Shanda, I'm hoping that you will help us make that happen. Thank you. All right, next, tabling opportunity at HHRC's Transgender Day of Visibility on March 31st.
Triple HRC reached out to me asking if we wanted it. I said tentatively yes, so they didn't lose the opportunity. So this would be at the it would be at the, not at the Capitol itself, but over at the Art Museum afterwards. They are scheduled 3 to 4:30 doing sign waving, and then the rally at the or right across the street over at the State Art Museum. There's no cost for this. So that's the reason I told them tentatively yes, and hopefully that you all will support that. It's a free tabling opportunities, nothing just needs that days.
Tabling opportunity means having a booth.
Yeah, they have a table there, yeah. Like we did at the Triple HRC's thing, but this would only be from 5 to 7. 5.
And so we had I think we have maybe Shanda might have one more of those disposable table covers I ordered, right? And that was all. And so everything that we had, Michael, that you saw at the last booth that we had, that's sufficient for this?
Yep.
Do anything fancy?
Nothing.
And I'm
with
already intending to go, so I am more than happy to take the lead unless somebody else wants it and to participate.
That's fantastic. You already have all the materials too, don't you? Did I take some of them with
think
me?
so.
I don't know.
I think you took the banner. I don't have the banner, so I'll have to connect with you to get that if we're gonna put it. I just have the rainbow tablecloth.
All right, please do remind me to look for that. And so Shanda's gonna be there, and then who else might be able to be there?
I'll be there.
I'll be there. And I'll try to be there as well. So that at least has enough, we can do it. Okay. So, great. Public testimony? Okay. Was there a movement on the floor? Sorry.
I move that we accept I accept their free offer of tabling from the Hawaii HRRC.
Okay, second. Thank you, Shanda. Any abstentions? All those in favor? We'll do it. Awesome. Thank you for coordinating that, Shanda. Appreciate it greatly.
Thanks for
Okay.
bringing it up, Michael.
And I'll connect you with Andrew.
Okay, next we have approved the commissioner's statement regarding University of Hawaii's response to executive orders attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion. Please see this letter in the board packet that we have written. Then make sure that you are okay with that, or let's discuss it and hear what you think about it. One thing that we would note is that as of a few weeks ago, actually, the LGBTQ plus website went down. And so there's nothing there anymore if you Google it. It is gone. And that, we don't have Camaron on today, but that's the office that he works under, and that's where our LGBTQ club meets, and that's how they support the students, and all information on that website has now just gone away. I will say that the community colleges, and I think I mentioned this in the letter, are doing a fantastic job of continuing to support LGBTQ students and staff. And we do have Scott on today, and I just want to shout out to what a fantastic job the community colleges are doing in coming together and supporting and not removing LGBTQ resources from their websites. So, any discussion? Rick?
question I have is going to the, just outside of our name, going to LGBTQIA. Or the name of the Mānoa Center, because that's LGBTQ plus. Or unless everybody just wants to keep it standard. I don't care one way. I actually, never mind, I withdraw it.
Okay. Rick, did you have your hand up?
Yes, I did. I'm wondering if we would want to discuss this with Camaron, or whoever the UH representative is, before we send. I'm just saying, since he's actually a member.
You faded out, Rick.
I'm wondering if we should discuss with Camaron and UH before we, to find out some background before we send anything, as we are on the same commission.
Background on which piece specifically, Rick?
Well, we talked about what was going on. When I went to the website, it said under construction. So I didn't know if it's being renovated, if it's being reworked, or if it's taken down indefinitely, or what the reason for that was. And I wanted to find that out before maybe we move forward. I just didn't know if that was something, so I was hoping someone would be here from UH today. I also understand that there's a separate LGBTQ plus commission for the whole system. Isn't that what you were telling us?
Scott is on there. Scott?
Oh, hi, Scott.
Hi, everyone. So yes, there is a system-wide commission that falls under the UH president. There are 2 commissioners from each of the UH campuses, and UH Mānoa has its own LGBTQ plus student center with its own website, and that's the website you're referring to that was taken down. Did that answer the question?
Thank you. Yes, it answered part of it. I guess I wanted to get more information about what was actually happening. So really what we're talking about is the LGBTQ Center, their website only. And I'm trying to learn what is the website being renovated and they just haven't fixed it back? They're trying to do something to it, or is it down for a long time? And I just didn't know the answer to those questions before we sent any.
Yeah, to be honest, that decision was made outside of the commission. I believe Cam made that decision on his own. And he did mention that some of the information on the website was outdated. And that was one of the reasons that the website was taken down. But I believe there are other reasons. But personally, I wouldn't be able to share what those reasons were exactly because he didn't share them with the commission. But with that said, the UH president did not, as far as I know, advise him to remove the website. She did not advise us to remove our websites. And so we are not planning on taking any action until we receive any direct actions from the UH president.
I'm so glad you're on here today, Scott.
Thank you for the invite.
I'm gonna move that we issue the statement as presented.
I'm just gonna say, Cameron is not here, but this was available in the board packet and made available, so he could have reviewed it. And I don't know what anyone can and cannot say anymore, but I can say that as a commission, we can support having the content of the website up.
I love the idea of us encouraging all of the things that we're encouraging in the numbered steps. However, the tone of the letters is maybe a bit scoldier than I would like for an organization that I feel has not totally dropped the ball at this point. So I guess I probably should have drafted an alternative But I would like us to rewrite it and have it be a little bit more collaborative and less directive.
I would totally agree with you, Shanda, there. If we'd had any conversation, if we'd had any kind of communication from Camaron on any of this, we have not received one word from Camaron about what's happening at UH or from the UH system, period. And he specifically has a seat here, even though he's a non-voting member. Well, actually, the president has a seat here. And so that when we get no communications, and the only thing we have are left to deal with are what's in the media and direct stories that we're hearing and direct things that are happening from faculty, students, and it goes back to the lack of communication from UH, as well as the lack of communication from our governor when it comes to the needs of our community, that we expect people to step up. We're at war, folks. For lack of a better term, we're at war with the federal government. And if people we have a choice. We either die on our feet or die on our knees when it comes to these things. And the fact that there's been absolutely nothing. And I warned back in December that these things were going to be coming down the pike, and that people may want to look at rebranding if they want to hide from the federal government. And now we don't even have the website. And so what are the queer students of Mānoa supposed to be doing between now and whenever that website may or may not come back?
Rick?
Thank you. I did try to reach out to Camaron, and I found out he was out of the country. He was not available for a while. So that's why. So it's been sometime after about mid-February when this went down, but I'm not sure when it's going back up or if it's going back up. So I wanted to find that out. But also I would agree with supporting in a supportive way. Maybe if we could table this and then redo the letter and look at it a little differently. Because I feel like we're writing something for a situation I don't fully understand. Maybe other people have inside information that I don't have.
Okay. I think he's back now because he emailed me regarding the project he was working on with Sandy and let me know he had another meeting today. Any other discussion?
Can I just mention, there is a system LGBTQ plus website as well. So students can still access that website, although it does not have obviously the same information that the UH Mānoa website has, because their website has campus specific events and other things, but I will put that into the chat just so everyone has that as a reference.
Thank you, Scott. And if we are deciding to table this, I guess I would say, if that's the way we're gonna go, I would ask that at least on that website, there is information about who to contact and where to go for our students, because even that doesn't exist right now.
Scott, just, we have that link on our commission website. So
I guess we vote, and then if it's not gonna go as is, I can rewrite it and we can revisit it next time. Yeah, but this may give power to whoever to get it back up. Who knows? That would be what I would be hopeful about, but this may do that.
I'll restate my motion that we send them a letter as is. Like
Any
we
other
release a statement as is. It's not a letter, it's just a statement from the commission. Given everything that we have publicly available to us.
Publicly available. Any public testimony? Okay, I have a motion to accept this statement as is. Do I have a second? Any abstentions? Oh wait, who seconded?
Philip.
Philip, thank you. Any abstentions? All those in favor? Oh wait, Rick, you're abstaining? Rick is abstaining. All those in favor? Shanda, did you abstain or did you vote for?
I was intending to oppose.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Opposition? Anybody who opposes? Rick, are you abstaining or opposing? I can't hear you or see your mouth. Oppose. Shanda and Rick oppose. Michael, myself, and Philip, and Joe, and Sandy approve, correct? Okay, then I believe it goes as is. Thank you. Okay, they've turned off the air conditioning here, which usually means they're about to kick us out. So real quick here, we just have one more thing. Do you think we can get through it real quick and then we can hold off on future meeting topics? But discussion of Queer Day at the Hawaii State Capitol. Sponsoring it.
Yeah. We'd be the lead agency on this thing. Let's see, there's agricultural days, they do tech days. I think this dovetailed nicely into our requirements. And it's a free meeting location. It doesn't cost us any money to get the Capitol. I would not be moving forward with this request if Devin was not on board, because it's going to be nice to have somebody to help. And Devin's like, damn it. But yeah, so that the idea would be this would be sometime in April. This will also be when they're doing budgets. So when our allied organizations or queer organizations are looking to making sure that their programs are funded, this would be a great way to make sure we highlight them at the Capitol. So yeah, I'm thinking the budget would be around $750, but that would be including for a giveaway. And I would figure that out. We're working with Kat, whatever the giveaway would be at the Capitol. Ideally, maybe, anyways. Yeah, there's other people we need to wait, but this, so the motion is just to have this fill out the application, and then we can start finding the date at the Capitol, and then we move forward with it. And so, it's from 11 to 1 at the Capitol. That's when the regular ag days are, or like the days at the Capitol on the 4th floor. So for us to highlight the queer community.
And Michael, you would be taking the lead on this and working with Devin?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, did I miss an actual date, or is it the date TBD?
TBD. It depends on what's available before we can even start. Before I even wanted to go bother DAGs. The TBD would, yeah, and also working with the ledge calendar. So you got to work with DAGs and the ledge. And we already, legislators have already reached out in support of this idea. Not that this should cloud anybody's vote or not, but just to let you know that there's already support, and they just wanted to know. So anyways.
I think it's a great idea.
Great. Public testimony? Do I have a motion?
So move that we set aside $750 for a budget to end. We sponsor Queer Days at the Capitol at a date to be determined in the month of April.
Second. Thank you, Sandy. Any abstentions? All those in favor? Do I still have a quorum?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us. Okay, we shall do so. And then we are going to adjourn. Can I have public testimony on that? Okay, then we're gonna vote on adjourning. Anyone abstain? Okay, all those in favor of adjourning? All right, thanks for hanging on for an extra 7 minutes, you all, and thanks for all the new folks who joined us. Hope to see you next time. All righty, bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye.